of the challenge, as I said before, the issues of social interaction, communication, and the behavior. Because for them, the children look it as a play, but for me as educators, I try to use different approaches that is very encountered with learning objectives and the other aspects which I plan to use. So, statistical data show that increase of engagement could be attained through learning through play. So the study done by CASA showed that found that autistic children showed increased engagement and social interaction during play-based intervention to compare with the traditional method. Why this happened? Because, as I said before, this method or approach, most of the time kids, they assume they are playing. But in a creative way, you have to look the what we call learning objectives, but also you have to look the intention on that application of the lesson. So by using this approach, it increased a lot of engagement and it will resolve the issues of social interaction challenges among autistic kids. But also improve communication skills. As I said, one among the challenge among autistic kids was communication barrier. Most of them they face that challenge. So research showed that demonstrated play-based intervention led to significant improvement in communication skills. So this includes expressive language, receptive language in children with autism. Because most of the time they engage, they used to share their things they do like and stuff like that. So for me, by applying this approach or methods, I see a lot of changes pertaining the issues of communication. Most of the autistic kids or people, they need what we call speech therapy. So play-based approach is one among the very good therapy for kids with autism because it increases or it improves their communication skills, including the expressive and the receptive language. But also, play-based approach enhances social skills. That's one among the big challenges to the kids with autism, social interaction. So sometimes they kind of isolated themselves among others, but when you use play approach, you find them the increase in the interaction with their peers is very high. So play-based approach show that reveal the play-based intervention were associated with significant gain in social skills such as joint attention, turn-taking among children with autism. So in my study, I used the following structure. First of all, I created 3 groups. And in that group, the first group was attained maybe 1 day per week. I met with him or her 1 day per week. Another group I met 4 days per week. And the third group I met 2 days. Why I do so? Because I need to measure that intervention, time correlated with outcomes for autistic children. That's why I decided to create these 2 separate groups. And good enough is both group 1, 2, and 3, I found a very good outcomes because they are proof that the matter is to see how they interact because I do look their most interaction there. So basically, I use application different methods or approach for play-based intervention. So this included digital, hand-on practice, games, but also singing and stuff like that. So I use different apps, I use different animation, including our Ubongo animation, because this is very important to see what we're doing is is working to both kids. So due to the application of different intervention, I see a lot of outcomes, including speech ability, increase of cognitive, but also the issue of interaction and understanding. So there are some strategies basically I apply as when you teach autistic kids. You'll be familiar with it. First of all, structured play groups. You have to structure your time. You have to structure your activities. So providing structured play group with specific goals and activities tailored to individual needs, and they foster social interaction and the skill development. So if you know one kid with autism, you know one, not all of them. So you have to consider that every kid who is autistic have different unique needs and requirements. So for me, I use that structure to consider their need. But also, most of the autistic kids or people are visual learners. So I use visual support, incorporating visual support such as visual schedules, social stories into play activities. These enhance a lot of comprehensions and the participation among kids who are participating in my studies. But also, I use peer-mediated intervention because one among the challenge most of the parenting say that I cannot interact with a fellow, so I said let me try to connect with his fellow at homes that we call peer-mediated intervention. So peer-mediated intervention, whether typically developed peer engaged in play with children with autism, have been shown to promote social engagement and influence skills development because they use their natural environment that will foster understanding and a lot of improvement. So why some parents decided to use or opted to homeschooling for their autistic kids? This is because, and this is the story. I'm going to read it as when I spoke with their parent, with some parent, what do they say? This is the quotation from one parent. Sometimes he didn't come home from school, and after he do yield and scream and threw his bag and punch me, he do then go to bed and cry himself to sleep and sleep for almost 2 to 3 hours, and then and that often happen every day. So you see such kind of experience, parenting experience. Sometimes due to without having a clear structure for autistic kids, it may interact or it may influence to behave in such kind of behavior. So one among parents also said the amount of work that I have been able to got him to do, the volume of work I have been able to get him to do is substantial compared to what he ever did at school. So this is the report, or this is the conversation they share with me after the session. When you're beginning, we do what we call the assessment to see the level of understanding where a kid require a lot of intervention and stuff like that. So after later on, maybe 1 year or 6 months, you start to see some improvement and the changes to the kids. So these are the feedback which most of time for me I found it's very useful. And the good enough, after doing a 2-year research with the group of almost 10 to 15 kids, all of them they back to school. Now they are going to study in inclusive school by sharing the technique and the skills, how to teach with them, with the teachers, and also the parents, how to live with them at home. And so that, for me, I say it's successful because I see that improvement and the changes to the autistic kid. Thank you so much. Okay, may I receive one question because I have only 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just wanted to find out, so for your outcomes, so yes, the play-based approaches, are you also supporting teachers to embrace this? Because at least, for example, where I come from in Uganda, the challenge has been that many of these children, when they reach a certain age, they are I won't say kicked out, but the school can no longer accommodate them. So I don't know whether you're also supporting teachers so that they know that play-based approaches can help keep these children in school. Because sometimes the argument is that what they tell the parents that for them having them out of school is that they don't have the teaching methods, or they cannot accommodate them, or that they don't fit the school system. So I don't know if you also.
Thank you so much. I remember last year I came to Uganda and I met with some teachers to share the knowledge how they could teach autistic kids, including using what we call low-cost materials. I share with the teachers, but the thing is, I think the accessibility and the awareness to them that where they could find those information is a challenge. So for me, you see, the thing which I have, you can find it online. You can find it on our website, maybe Ubongo and stuff like that. But most of the teachers, maybe they don't do that. So what I decided, sometimes I met with them in schools. In Tanzania, we have visited some schools and sharing the knowledge, workshop and stuff like that. And I see a lot of changes. But I think by having or participating in this, you can share with teachers in Uganda, others, the communication and how they can reach to us to support them. So because we support in low cost, but also our aim is to see all children access the same education as others. Thank you so much. I think I am out of time.